What does that mean? The CEO's angry voice echoed in the conference room. On the large screen, documents with obviously falsified numbers were displayed. Trouble occurred during an internal competition. There was a numerical error in the materials presented by my boss. We had checked it just before, so why? This is wrong. My boss's voice trembled. Cold sweat trickled down her forehead. To mess up this badly in a presentation that holds the fate of the next project. The executive's cold gazes focused on her. I couldn't stay silent and stood up. Leave it to me. I was called incompetent with only a high school diploma. The greatest gamble of my life was about to begin. My name is Smith Daniel. I work at an advertising agency. I joined as an administrative worker 3 years ago, but I still haven't fit in at the company. In fact, I work every day at a desk by the window, with no one seated around me. Daniel, organize these documents by 1 p.m. What? A stack of documents was thrown onto my desk. I looked at the documents, the person who spoke to me, and then at the clock in turn. Thanks. It was Robert. We're the same age, but since I was hired mid-career, he, as a new graduate hire, is my senior. Wait a minute, by 1 p.m., there's only 10 minutes left. The time was 11:50 a.m. From 12 to 1 p.m. is the lunch break, so there's only about 10 minutes left. But the amount of documents in front of me clearly requires an hour. Yet Robert looked unperturbed. What are you talking about? Can't you read a clock? It's 11:50 a.m. now. There's more than an hour until 1 p.m. But lunch break starts at 12. What? I'm giving you work because you can't do it, and you're worried about lunch. Work comes first. Don't think you can take a break when your work isn't done. This is why I can't stand high school graduates with their spoiled attitudes. He spat these words out, turning his back to me, clearly no longer interested in talking. Then he called out to a co-worker of his. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go to lunch. Hey, didn't you have to sort those documents? Daniel will handle it. Again, aren't you dumping too much on him? He didn't seem to mind. Maybe you can't see his expression because of the mask. It's his fault for making it hard to read. Laughing, the two of them left the office. Left behind, I gave up on my lunch break and started sorting the documents. Yes, I understand why I'm an outsider here. It's because of the mask that covers my mouth. Whether it's allergy season, cold season, or even on hot and humid days, I always wear a mask. It's not that I'm forced to. I choose to do it myself, so all I can do is apologize when people say they can't read my expressions. Gradually, people stopped approaching me. If that was all, it would be fine. But Robert often harasses me, seemingly because he doesn't like me. He graduated from a famous university and is on the fast track to promotion. He doesn't like that I, a high school graduate, work at the same company. I've been mocked for my education many times. Even so, he's my senior, and he's smart and capable. Unlike me, he often takes center stage, and if I complained, many would side with him. So, I always have to endure. If I hate this situation, I can change jobs again. But I don't because there's something that saves me. Hey, Daniel, aren't you having lunch? Around 12:30, a woman passing by asked curiously. She was a tall, beautiful woman with a ponytail and a dignified expression. Her name is Margaret Jones. She is the same age as Robert, but is also a senior. The daughter of the company president and a section chief in the planning department. As expected, I couldn't take a lunch break, so I replied with a wry smile. Yes, I'm a bit busy. That busy? She was probably surprised because it's rare to be too busy to eat lunch. She peeked at the documents on my desk, then told me to wait and left the office. About 5 minutes later, Margaret returned and handed me a plastic bag. Here, this. I could only get some bread, but please eat. Did you buy this for me? Yes, I'll take over this work for you. Uh, it's Robert's work anyway, right? He went out for lunch, so he won't be back for a while. I can help without him knowing, so, okay. Working without lunch will just tire you out. Thank you so much. I took advantage of Margaret's kindness and opened the bag of bread. My stomach growled as if reminding me of my hunger. Sorry, I'll eat right away. It's fine. Take your time. Robert is terrible, isn't he? Going out to eat and pushing time-consuming work on others. I shifted my mask and took a bite of the bread, making sure Margaret couldn't see. How's the bread? I quite like it. It's really good. I'm glad. Margaret is so kind to me, even though I'm treated coldly by others. But it's not just me. She is kind to everyone and can speak her mind clearly. That's why so many people admire her. Naturally, Margaret is very popular. Even though she is the president's daughter, she never flaunts it. It's rare to find someone as wonderful as her. She doesn't rest on her laurels. She is someone I admire, someone strong and steadfast whom I want to emulate. I thought today would be terrible because of Robert, but I was happy to spend lunch with Margaret. Talking to her for such a long time made me a little giddy. Thanks to Margaret, I managed to finish the work by 1 p.m. Keep it a secret that I helped. She winked, and her cute gesture made my heart skip a beat. I handed the documents to a dissatisfied Robert, saying, "Here, it's done." And everything went smoothly. I should do something to thank her. Maybe I could ask her out for dinner tonight. But I don't want her to think I have ulterior motives, and it would feel like a reward for me too. I was mulling it over when suddenly it became pointless. Robert gathered the employees for an impromptu drinking party. Everyone who can come, meet on the first floor at quitting time. Oh, Margaret, you can come, right? Margaret, suddenly addressed, hesitated. Maybe she didn't want to go or had other plans. In any case, she didn't seem enthusiastic about the drinking party. I want to talk to Margaret more. Conversations flow better over beer, you know. Okay, I understand. She reluctantly agreed, nodding in the end. I wondered if she was really okay. But then I realized I had my own problems. Robert approached me with a grin. Daniel, you're not coming to the drinking party, right then? Take care of this for us. He roughly shoved some files at me. I wanted to push them back, but he added, if you're coming to the party, you don't have to do it. Ah, looks like I'll be working overtime. As everyone started packing up, I could hear excited voices about the party. I pretended not to notice and kept working quietly. Then, another person approached me. Daniel, are you working overtime? It was Maria Williams. A beauty of a different kind from Margaret, with a short haircut and an energetic impression. She joined the company at the same time as me, so we often interacted, and she treated me without any discrimination. Yeah, it looks like it. That sounds tough. Can I help? Just her offer was enough to be grateful for. Her thoughtfulness alone gave me the strength to keep going. No, it's okay, thanks, Maria. You should go to the drinking party. During lunch, Margaret helped you. What? Did you say something? Nothing. Maria looked a bit dissatisfied as she left the office with everyone else. Maybe my words were too harsh. I don't have many opportunities to interact with others, so I sometimes choose my words poorly. Since she offered to help, I should have expressed my gratitude a bit more. Reflecting, I kept working. If I could attend the drinking party, would I be able to talk with everyone and get to know them better? Such thoughts are pointless. I can't go to large social gatherings. I would have to take off my mask. All right, almost done. It was 9 p.m., and everyone who didn't attend the drinking party had already left. The only sounds in the office were my typing and the rustling of papers. As I finished the last entry, someone walked in. I looked up, thinking they might have forgotten something, and saw it was Margaret. Daniel. Margaret, What are you doing here? Weren't you at the drinking party? They're heading to the after party now, so I slipped out. I wanted to help you. What? You came just for this? She skipped the after party to help me with my overtime. I felt so guilty. Besides, I had already finished the work. Thank you so much for your concern. Sorry, I just finished. Margaret looked at my desk in surprise. No way, you're done already. Yes, once I file these documents, I can go home. Then let me help with that. Since she came back to help me, it would be rude to refuse her now. Gratefully, I accepted her help. As we sorted the documents, Margaret said, I've always thought so, but you're really quick at your work, Daniel. Do you think so? I came to help because I thought you'd be working past midnight, but you're already done. Maybe I'm just efficient. That's what being good at your job means. Why did you choose administrative work? You seem capable of doing so much more. Sometimes people pity me for my position. However, being by the window is my choice. To be as inconspicuous as possible. That's the core of my lifestyle. You're good at your job, but don't seek attention. Maybe that's why Robert is so worked up. Robert, really? He doesn't like people who are better at work than he is. I'm sorry I couldn't stop him from dumping overtime work on you earlier. It's unreliable of me, right? Even though I'm the president's daughter. No, Margaret, you have nothing to apologize for. You have no obligation to help me. If anything, I'm sorry for making you skip the after party. No, it's fine. Actually, I'm not a fan of drinking parties. Really? So, that's why she hesitated when invited. Part of the reason I used you as an excuse. If it's so tough, why not just skip them? Because of my position, it's hard to say no. Your position? Yeah, when I first joined the company, I refused to go. But then people started saying things behind my back. Like how being the president's daughter means I can skip these events, or that I'm putting on airs. So I just go now. Is that so? Just because her parent is the president, she gets talked about like that. I'm sure the drinking party is just one of many struggles she faces. Behind her kindness and smile, there may be many such stories. I shouldn't pry, but since she's opening up, I wanted to help somehow. But the president is the president. Margaret is Margaret. Yes, exactly. Margaret reacted strongly to my words. She gripped the files tightly. Sure, my father is the president, and I respect him for building this company single-handedly. But I am not my father. I don't want to be treated the same way, nor do I want people to think I share his views. Margaret seemed to have strong feelings about being the president's daughter. Unable to contain her emotions, she revealed her true feelings. The current company is practically a one-man show. It's all held together by my father. While that might be impressive, if anything goes wrong, it could fall apart quickly. My father started this company in his 30s, gathering people with his natural charisma. But I don't have that power. I want to maintain a company where those who joined because of my father feel glad they did. Margaret's eyes, though looking into the distance, were filled with determination and vision. That's why I believe it's important to understand each employee's thoughts. So, that's why you always reach out and are considerate to everyone. I'm glad you said that. When I joined the company, I was told I'd take over as president someday. But I think I need to work with everyone, aiming for the same goals, instead of running things like my father. She was already thinking about the future of the company. Her goal was clear in her actions, which is why she was well respected. I want to be a different kind of president than my father. I know it sounds arrogant, but I don't want it to be just a pipe dream. Right now, I know people think I'm just riding on my father's coattails. They see me as just an ordinary person with a powerful parent. So, I have to work even harder. Oh, sorry for rambling. Maybe it's the beer talking. Margaret blushed with embarrassment. I didn't want to let her heartfelt words go to waste. You're not here just because of your father's influence. What? Everyone is drawn to your character and sincerity. You said you lack charisma, but I don't think that's true. Really, I hope so. When I was job hunting, I had the chance to meet some employees, and I heard you speak. Oh, right, I do participate in those events every year. So, we met then. Yes, at that time, you answered several questions from the job seekers, right? Yes, I did. One question was, what are the characteristics of successful employees? You said, everyone is successful. And I wish I could talk about each person. But due to time constraints, I'll mention one from each department. You talked about every department, even those you don't work closely with, like administration and accounting. Each story showed that you truly observed and appreciated the strengths of others. I thought, this person can see the good in others and values it as a personal asset. I admired you and thought, I want to be like that. Margaret widened her eyes at my story. Is that true? Yes, that's why you have the power to attract people. I didn't know you thought of me that way. It's kind of embarrassing, but it makes me happy. Margaret reached out to me. It was such a natural gesture that I just stood there, staring. Then she held my hand. Thank you, Daniel. No, oh, I'm sorry. I was just so happy. She quickly let go, her cheeks turning pink. Seeing this side of the usually composed Margaret was rare. After that, neither Margaret nor I attended the after party, and we both went home separately. I couldn't forget the feel of Margaret's smooth hand. The next week, Robert kept giving me tasks, and Margaret and Maria continued to worry about me. But the days didn't stay the same forever. Daniel, I have a favor to ask. What is it? Smiling, she happily showed me a document. It was a project name I had never seen before, but the client was a well-known company. What is this? It's a project we secured last month, Daniel. Will you join the project team? What, me? This was truly out of the blue. For someone like me, who had been handling various administrative tasks for different projects, becoming a project member was uncharted territory. Yes, I told you before, right? You're good at your job, so I want you to take on this challenge and show us your skills. But I'm just an administrative worker. Surely, there are others who want to be part of this project. Why me? It's okay. I've already talked to HR and the section chief. I've recommended you. What? Margaret's initiative never ceases to amaze me. She had already paved the way. With such expectations, I couldn't back down. More than anything, it was a request from Margaret, who has always been kind to me. I couldn't refuse. Okay, I'll do my best if you think I can handle it. Thank you, looking forward to working with you. And so, I transitioned from administrative work to joining the planning department. My task was to attend client meetings, gather their requirements, and list the key selling points of the products. The meetings were chaotic with many ideas clashing, and it was challenging to keep everything on track. But feeling the tension of the real action was a good stimulus. While I was working on the documents, Robert came up to me. Daniel, it seems like you're getting special treatment. Special treatment. The new project. Just because Margaret likes you, an administrative worker, get such a big task. Don't you think it's strange? Honestly, I know it's unusual. But since I'm being given a chance, I want to do my best. Yes, it's an unprecedented situation, but the section chief gave me this opportunity, so I want to fulfill it. That's right. This is a chance. Robert snatched the documents I was holding. If I join this project, it's my chance for a promotion, so you should step aside. I can't make that decision. I'm telling you to withdraw. I'll take over this job. He started writing something on the documents he had taken. Please stop. Those are mine. What are you two talking about? Margaret appeared behind Robert. I immediately realized she was my lifeline. She always watched over everyone with a broad perspective. "Oh, I was just checking on Daniel's progress. It's a big task," and he seemed unsure. He made an excuse I hadn't said, but Margaret didn't seem to believe it. "Really, it doesn't look that way to me." He must have found it hard to say. "I assure you, I'm more suited for this job." "Is that so?" "You don't even need to ask. I have more experience and knowledge, and I'm better at the job." "But you always leave everything to Daniel." "What?" Margaret cut Robert's argument short. "At first, it was just simple tasks. But since Daniel completes everything quickly, you've been giving him more difficult jobs, right? You say you have more experience, but aren't most of the recent tasks actually Daniel's work?" Margaret's blunt statement left Robert stunned. Nearby, I heard other employees whispering. That's true. Robert did leave more than just simple tasks to him. Just the other day, I saw some documents that Daniel corrected. They were supposed to be checked by Robert. He dumped the whole job on him. No matter how busy you are, isn't this just plain slacking? Maybe it's more efficient if Daniel handles it. The whispers turned into quiet laughter. Robert, now the center of unwanted attention, turned red and left the office. Worried, I glanced at Margaret, but she seemed unbothered. Thank you for standing up for me. I'm always being helped by her." "It's pathetic." "What are you saying? I'm the one who got you involved. It would be a problem for me if you left the team." Her strength wasn't formed easily. I need to learn from her. I adjusted my slightly crooked mask. On the way home that day, Robert stopped Maria, who was also on her way home. I should have just walked by, but I couldn't help hiding in the shadows. "Maria, can we talk for a moment?" "Robert, what is it?" Did those two have any connection? I found myself in an awkward situation. After a while, I heard Maria say, "All right, I'll listen to you." Then the two of them walked away together. Of course, I had no intention of following them, so I didn't find out what they were talking about. I didn't think they were particularly close. I should stop speculating. I had a feeling they were talking about me, but eavesdropping is rude, so I'll just forget about it. I returned to the office and resumed my work. Next week, we have the internal competition for the project. We will present several proposals, and the top 3 will be submitted to the client. This presentation is crucial as it will directly impact the client's impression and the project's progress. It's not enough for the design to be good. We also need to back it up with the reputation of past advertisements to pass internally. With no design experience, my job was to compile data related to previous advertisements. I summarized the numbers and made the data easy for Margaret and the others to understand. I collected and meticulously analyzed a vast amount of data. One day, while I was working overtime due to a heavy workload, Margaret, having slipped out of another drinking party, came to see me. "Daniel, you're working overtime again. Don't overdo it." She seemed quite drunk today. In fact, she was holding a can of beer. "Margaret, beer in the office is a bit. There's no one else here. Don't be so strict. Join me." Margaret, her tone and demeanor soften when she's drunk. "Well, as long as I don't mind, I suppose it's okay. Even though you don't like drinking parties, you sure do like beer." "Yeah, it's because there are so many smokers at drinking parties." "Oh, you don't like smoke?" "It's not just that, I'm scared of lighters." "Lighters?" "Yes, something happened a while back, and now I'm afraid of fire." "It must be a trauma." "In that case, drinking parties without separate smoking areas would be tough. But listen to this." Margaret suddenly switched from a subdued tone to a more animated one. "I told my mom about the project we're working on, and my dad overheard and said, 'Don't get excited over something like that.' I wasn't even talking to him." "Haha. He always acts so high and mighty at home. One day I'll show him. But you know, despite all that, my dad is actually very protective." She then cheerfully talked about how overprotective her father is at home. It seems like Margaret's family gets along well. I had just finished my work, so I listened to Margaret's stories for a while. Oh, Daniel, are you done with your work? Yes. Are you heading home too, Margaret? I'm leaving, but hey, Daniel, have a drink here. She pushed the open can of beer. She had been drinking in front of me. But, come on, come on. She'd probably let it go if I took just one sip. I turned around, adjusted my mask slightly, and took a tiny sip from the can. Then Margaret exclaimed, "Oh, that's an indirect kiss." What? Because it was my drink. She laughed, covering her mouth with her hand. Getting excited over an indirect kiss at this age. I guess women do care about these things. Even though I wasn't thinking about it, her words made my heart race. Yeah, I guess so. Hey, Daniel, you turned away when you drank the beer, right? What? She kept changing the subject. It's not like Margaret to talk so haphazardly, but maybe it's because she's drunk. Yeah, I did. I've always wondered, why do you wear a mask? Are you catching a cold, or do you have year-round allergies? Year-round allergies would be awful. I tried to dodge the question, but Margaret seemed fixated on the mask. Now that I think about it, I don't know what you really look like. My face is right here in front of you. That's not what I mean. I want to see under the mask. As she said this, Margaret reached for my mouth. I instinctively pulled back. No, you can't. I hurriedly stepped back. But Margaret, leaning forward in her drunken state, lost her balance. Ah! As I heard her scream, I reflexively tried to catch her. However, with that momentum, we both ended up falling to the floor. Ouch! When I opened my eyes, Margaret's face was right in front of mine. The closeness took my breath away. Her hair brushed my cheek, and a sweet scent tickled my nose. I could feel her body heat. Daniel! Her breath grazed my neck. My heart started to race. Just then, I heard footsteps approaching from the direction of the door. Just as I thought I needed to get away, the office door opened, and Maria appeared. Maria. Oh, good evening. I forgot something. What? Oh, no. I dropped something. And, Margaret was helping me look for it, right? What? Oh, yes, that's right. That's exactly what happened. That was a poor excuse. Margaret and I stood up as if nothing had happened. If you two are heading home, I can turn off the lights. I'll help, Margaret. You can sit down. Okay. Following Maria's lead, I turned off the lights and locked up. I didn't expect anyone to be here. What were you two doing? Maria asked, but I couldn't give a clear answer. I was working late, and Margaret, well, this time, she was just drunk and talking to me. Not understanding it myself, I tilted my head, and Maria said, as long as there's nothing going on, it's fine. What did she mean by nothing? By the way, the next day, Margaret, who remembered everything from her drunken state, apologized profusely. 2 weeks later, I was participating in the company's internal competition. As my turn approached, my nerves intensified to the point where I thought everyone could hear my heartbeat. Though I wasn't the one presenting. Margaret was going to present our results. This project was a web advertisement, and she would display our preliminary designs on the screen, along with data from previous ad views. Now, let's show our past achievements. Margaret's favorite stylish ad design appeared on the screen. But then, something was wrong. What? Both Margaret and I were confused. What was displayed was the demo data, a series of numbers before being calculated and summarized. It had reverted to an earlier version. But I had saved everything correctly and practiced for the competition multiple times. There were no issues during the last check. But there's no time to think about that now. On stage, Margaret was searching for the correct data for her presentation. We apologize for the inconvenience. Please wait a moment. What data is this? The president asked, perhaps to fill the silence or out of genuine curiosity. This is a list of view counts for past advertisements. We have another table with the results of the statistical analysis. Didn't you, of all people, check it beforehand? Margaret's expression changed. She looked irritated, not because she was confused by the president's question, but because she was annoyed at being scolded by her father. Her frustration must have shown on her face. The data was completed a week ago, and I checked it right before, but somehow it has been altered. So, you're saying someone with access changed it? That is, someone intentionally changed the numbers to sabotage the presentation. Is that what you're suggesting? Do you understand what this means? It means there are employees who don't think highly of you as a section chief. In other words, you lack the qualities to lead people. Yes. If someone tried to sabotage Margaret, it means that person didn't want her to succeed. But I believe no one is liked by everyone. At the very least, I think her leadership is outstanding. That's true. Margaret kept her head down, desperately searching for the correct data in the folders. I couldn't stay silent and stood up. Mr. President, with all due respect, I don't think it's fair to question Margaret's leadership because of one person's resentment. For every person trying to bring her down, there are others who want to support her. You're the one who always wears the mask, Daniel from her team, right? Yes, while she may face opposition and sabotage, it would be ideal if she were respected by everyone. But even if she's not, a true leader needs the ability to handle any challenge that arises. The president listened to me without interrupting, but also didn't show any support. He was simply observing the situation. So, you believe she has the ability to overcome this crisis? Yes, and I will prove it as her subordinate. I stood next to Margaret. Margaret, let me handle this. I'll recalculate and read out the data. Recalculate now, how? I'll do it mentally. Can you really do that? Trust me. Margaret looked into my eyes, nodded, and handed me the microphone. Her eyes reflected the trust we had built over time. Thank you for your patience. There are errors in the displayed data, so I will now read out the correct information. First, regarding the cosmetics advertisement used in January last year. Hey, we can't hear you. A heckle came from the back of the room. It was Robert. Isn't your voice muffled by that mask? Take it off for this at least. Or are you hiding something? Does your face say high school graduate on it? There were chuckles from around the room. They should be able to hear me through the microphone. This was clearly Robert's harassment. As long as I kept the mask on, Robert would continue to interfere. So, I decided to take off the mask, but Margaret grabbed my hand. Daniel, you don't have to do this. You've done enough. Margaret was concerned for me. It's okay. I'm here now because of you, Margaret, so. I took a deep breath. Margaret's hands still held mine. Her warmth gave me courage. For you, Margaret, I will take off the mask. Margaret's eyes widened. Daniel. Her voice was a mix of surprise and worry. I continued speaking. Margaret, you were the first person who didn't look down on me. Others avoided me or looked at me strangely because of this mask, but you didn't. My voice trembled a bit. You appreciated my work. You treated me as a person beyond the mask. I want to show you all of me. There's nothing more to hide. Tears glistened in Margaret's eyes. Daniel. As Margaret watched, I took off the mask. My mouth was covered in extensive red swelling. Even Robert from afar could see it. Seeing the large scars, the room buzzed with whispers. Expecting this reaction, I ignored it and continued my calculations aloud. Let's proceed. I looked at the displayed materials, recalled the formulas used for statistical analysis, and began calculating. I could see Margaret's surprised face next to me. With unwavering confidence, I finished my explanation. One final note. At the end, I mentioned something entirely unrelated to the competition. I was a bit anxious, wondering if I would get in trouble. You were probably surprised by what's under this mask. These are keloid scars from burns. No one interrupted my digression. In my previous job, people stared at me strangely because of these scars. I was forced to resign, so I hid them even after joining this company. I glanced at Robert, who looked down, seemingly embarrassed. But now, I don't mind if it happens again. That's how much I trust and owe Margaret. I wanted to show that she is such a great leader to me, and I hope you understand that. It's true someone maliciously sabotaged her, but it's also true that there's a subordinate here who wants to support her with all his heart. Thank you. As I bowed, applause started to echo from all around. The applause grew louder, and many people praised me. Since the presentation wasn't over yet, I quickly bowed again and returned to my seat. I was happy that everyone seemed to accept me and recognize Margaret. The rest of the presentation went well, and after the competition, Margaret called me into the conference room. Daniel, I don't know how to thank you. No need to thank me. You've always been there for me, and you included me in this project. I wanted to repay you. No, Daniel, you are truly amazing, and I just helped you come forward. But really, it's incredible. You did complex calculations mentally that we usually do with computers. You're so smart. Being smart doesn't necessarily pay the bills. My father left home when I was in high school, leaving behind debt, me, and my mother. I had to start working immediately. Sure, I had good test scores and could have gone to a good university, but we needed money right away. A smart high school student doesn't earn money. I didn't have the luxury of going to college, so there's nothing special about it. I started working right after high school. I see. That must have been tough. A moment of silence fell over the conference room, where it was just the two of us. After a while, Margaret spoke up. Was it okay? I mean, you always wore that mask. It's okay. I can't wear it forever. This was a good opportunity. If you say so, Daniel. But can I ask why you have those burns? I thought back to about 5 years ago. That was a reckless thing to do. A few years ago, I was visiting my hometown. I happened to pass by a house on fire. A fire? Yes, the firefighters hadn't arrived yet, and the neighbors were desperately trying to put it out. But I saw a shadow in the second-floor window. Without thinking, I grabbed a bucket being used for the firefighting, poured water on myself, and ran in to save that person. What? I don't remember it well because it was so sudden. But I do remember thinking that if something happened to that person, their family would be heartbroken. I know well the loneliness of losing family. Even though my father left us with debt, he was still my father. So, as you can see, I was fine. But I got burned. But considering I survived with just this, I think it was worth it. Wait a minute. Margaret, who was listening to my story, was trembling. I could sense what she wanted to say. The town where the fire happened. When I told her the name of the town, she gasped, "No way," in a voice that was almost a scream. Then, could it be that the person you saved was me? Yes. Yes. The name on the mailbox of the house that caught fire was Margaret. Later, I was told that the person I saved was the only daughter of that family, and she was my age. I didn't see her face well because I was so focused on saving her. But when I saw her for the first time, I knew immediately that it was her. What? Why didn't you tell me? I don't remember the face of the person who saved me. You left without even saying your name, right? I thought it might be traumatic for you to remember that incident, so I didn't want to bring it up. When I heard you were afraid of fire, I decided to keep it quiet. That's not fair. I've been looking for the person who saved my life all this time. I thought I was getting close to you recently. Was I not worthy of sharing your secret? That's not it, but well. Is there another reason? Should I tell her? Wouldn't it be cowardly to say it now? But staying silent would be more dishonest. I thought if you knew, you'd feel responsible. And I like you. If I ever confessed, I thought you'd stay with me out of obligation, and I didn't want that. I didn't plan to make such a pathetic confession, but it's better than staying silent. Margaret shook her head vigorously. You're overthinking. Why do you think I helped you with work and stayed to check on you during overtime instead of going back to the party? I thought it was because you're kind and couldn't leave someone struggling alone. You're so dense, really dense. Dense? About what? I'm not so nice that I'd date someone out of obligation. I wanted to be with you, so I tried to create more opportunities to be around you. No way, Margaret. Do you like me? I thought you already knew. Sorry for being so dense. A sudden silence fell between us. Margaret was looking down, her face bright red. I didn't know what to say, so I avoided her gaze. Well. We both started to speak at the same time, and then fell silent again. The ticking of the conference room clock seemed unusually loud. Daniel, about your keloid. Have you considered getting it treated? It's fine if you don't, but it seems to be a complex for you. I'd like to, but if possible, I'd rather use the money for my family. Even though we've paid off the debt, things are still tight at home. I'll pay for it. I can't let you do that. Since the scar was from saving me in the first place, wouldn't it be normal for me to cover the treatment costs as a thank you? Well, I was pondering whether I should accept her offer when there was a knock at the conference room door. When I responded, the person who entered was the president. Excuse me, I heard you two were here. Is there something you need? As I straightened up, the president smiled at us. The presentation earlier was very impressive. Not just the content, but how you handled the unexpected issue. You're a hero. Oh no, not at all, thank you very much. And Margaret? Margaret straightened her posture when she heard her name. I was quite stern about your leadership earlier, but Daniel was right. If you can handle issues well, it's not a significant problem. Having a good subordinate like him is a testament to your abilities. Yes. Not accustomed to being praised by the president, she blushed and gave a vague response. But her smile showed her happiness. By the way, do you have any idea who might have altered the data? Earlier, I was stern with Margaret, but the person who committed the sabotage needs to be dealt with appropriately. Actually, I have something I need to check. I opened my laptop, confirmed something, and called in Robert. What is it now? He seemed displeased to be summoned by me, but his expression changed when he saw the president and Margaret in the conference room. Without paying attention to his discomfort, I explained why I called him. During the presentation earlier, Margaret's data had been altered. When I checked the ID of the person who made the final edits, it showed your name, Robert. What's this about, Robert? Margaret stepped forward. Robert shook his head and shouted as he left the room. It wasn't me. It was Maria. Maria? What do you mean, wait? Robert ran out of the office. It's clear he knows something, but first, we need to talk to Maria. When we explained the situation, Maria, her voice trembling, told us the truth. I can't keep this secret any longer. I'm sorry I did it. What, Maria? Yes, Robert told me that if things continued as they were, you would become Margaret's boyfriend. I couldn't bear that because I like you, Daniel. It was unbearable for me. Maria likes me too. Is that even possible? But she doesn't seem to be lying. He said if you and Margaret succeeded in the competition, you would get even closer, so I should sabotage it. I borrowed his ID to access the data. So that's what happened. Thank you for being honest. Margaret, I'm so sorry. It's okay, I forgive you. What? Why? If the person you like is getting close to another woman, it makes you anxious. I get it. I was jealous too when I saw you and Daniel getting along just because you're co-workers. Margaret, you're so unfair. What? You're such a good person. I never stood a chance against you. Maria turned to the boss and said, Boss, I apologize. I will accept any punishment. Then, I will give you more work. Go and bring Robert back. What? Maria, who confessed her guilt, and Robert, who fled after betraying his junior. It's clear who deserves a heavier punishment. It turned out that Robert had altered his ID to access a restricted folder and then had Maria carry out the act. With his skills, he could have used them for his work. What a waste of talent. With this incident revealed, Robert was demoted and, feeling ostracized, eventually resigned. Meanwhile, Margaret won the competition and became the team leader in charge of the project. Not only did the client love her proposal, but the advertising also tripled the product's sales, leading to a preferred contract. As a result, the company's revenue is expected to hit an all-time high, and her father assured her that he could confidently entrust the company to her. And my burn scars, although not completely gone, have healed to the point where they are hardly noticeable. Margaret told her parents about me, and they convinced me as a family. Since I was the one who saved their daughter's life, they insisted on covering the treatment costs. It felt wrong to keep refusing their kindness, so I accepted the treatment. Now, I go on dates with Margaret without wearing a mask. The burn scars were a source of insecurity, but they ultimately became the reason we connected. Even if my appearance wasn't perfect, it didn't diminish my worth as a person. What truly matters is the people we meet and the meaningful relationships we build. These connections are part of what defines our value. I looked at my reflection in the mirror. Thanks to the latest treatments, the scars from the burns were barely noticeable. Just like the scars that were healed, life's challenges can also be overcome. The most important things are the experiences we gain and the bonds we form with the people we walk through life with.